Hello everyone, this is the Gridiron Review, and these are our top wide receivers for the 2023 NFL Draft. Before we get into the list, we ask if you haven't already, please give us a like, subscribe, we greatly appreciate it, and we hope to see you back on our channel. Thanks. This wide receiver class is fairly weak compared to years prior, and there's really only one other receiver that could have made the list. Usually we have a couple names that just missed it, but that's Jalin Hyatt, someone that we've had in our top 5 in the past, but we just view him as never really having number 1 overall potential and being a really good number 2 deep threat for a team. Our number 5 ranked wide receiver is Rashee Rice from SMU. We have him comped to Brandon Aiyuk, but it's not an exactly perfect comparison. He could go late first if there's a receiver that sneaks in after the initial 5 that most people have. He excels with the jump ball plays. He might be the best in the class at going up and getting those. He's going to be a red zone threat repeatedly for this reason alone. He's absolutely wicked after the catch. He makes a lot of people miss, and he has decent route running to pair with that. He's got average speed, but again, that's not really how he's going to play at the NFL, and his tape is a little bit inconsistent, although not as bad as some of the people were saying, and therefore he's our number 5 ranked receiver. We could see him, like we said, sneaking into the late first. Much like a couple other receivers that have been in the top 5 at different points, we see Jordan Addison falling a little bit. He's still a first-round prospect, but no longer do we think he gets taken in the top 15. He's a good athlete, although his indications from his testing are that he's not a special athlete, which was very disappointing in our opinion, especially considering he only weighed in at 173 pounds at the combine. And you would think that if he's a decent athlete and he's a little bit smaller, he would be able to do a lot after the catch, and that's just not the case with Addison. Rarely does he make anyone miss, and we just have slight concerns about his ability to beat press coverage. Despite this, he is a great route runner with good hands, and we see him comped in our eyes similar to Brandon Cooks or Tyler Lockett, players that flirt with being a number 1 but maybe are never a true elite, typical number 1 player. Number 3 and number 2 are going to continue switching back and forth throughout the draft process, but for now, it's Jaxon Smith-Njigba. And the reason we have him at 3 instead of 2 is that we think he's very scheme dependent and he's going to need a specific role at the NFL. That being said, he's going to play that role really well. He is a great route runner with maybe the best hands in the class. He excels at tracking deep balls, and as his combine shows, his short area quickness is elite. His speed is just average, although it's good enough. We were worried he was going to do slower at his pro day, but we don't know if he's ever going to be able to succeed on the outside at the NFL level, so we see him as more of a slot option that should be a number 1 out of the slot, similar to what Juju Smith-Schuster was in his Pittsburgh days, and in a similar vein of Cooper Kupp, although Kupp is better after the catch, so we're not going to make that comparison, but a very similar role. Our number 2 ranked receiver, who again we keep flipping with Jaxon Smith-Njigba, is Quentin Johnston, but he's definitely not trending in the right direction as far as his draft stock. He has good size, but doesn't really use it effectively as he struggles on jump balls and contested catches. He is great after the catch, he's very elusive, makes a lot of guys miss, and his hands are decent, but they're nothing special. His 40 time of 4.5 was kind of shocking based on his tape, but it is another red flag. And if you were to tell us 5 years down the line that Johnston ended up busting or is just an average receiver at best, we wouldn't be shocked. But we have to hope that a team will take him and teach him how to use his size better and further his development and turn him into at least a decent number 2. But there is true number 1 potential here, which is why we have him ranked 2nd overall at the moment. Our number 1 receiver has not changed. It has been consistently Zay Flowers since we made our initial rankings. He may be the best route runner in this class. He is amazing after the catch. He has great hands, and his athleticism is good enough. We wouldn't call it elite, but when you match it with his route running, his hands, and everything else, it is a plus trait. Our only knock on him is his size, but he does comp favorably to Antonio Brown in our opinion, and his strength is heavily underrated. You'd be surprised, but when you look at the film, he plays stronger than most of the wide receivers in this class. And something we don't have mentioned that doesn't really get talked about a ton is that he never transferred out of Boston College. He could have easily went to a bigger school and improved his draft stock, but he stayed loyal to the team, and we think teams will value that at the next level. We appreciate anyone that has watched our videos. Again, please give us a like, subscribe, check out our other content. We love talking football, and we appreciate every one of you, and we hope to see you back. Thanks.